Hey there, I'm Ayana Angel, and I'm the host of the Switch Pivot or Quit podcast. And so, with that, I have a ton of conversations with people who are authors, people who have switched, pivoted, or quit, made transitions, changes in their careers. And I was lucky enough to be able to speak to the author of Ask for More recently, and her name is Alexandra Carter. And Ask for More is a book all about negotiation. And I learned that negotiation is not what I think it is and what most of us probably think it is. And so today I want to share with you some of the tips that I walked away with from that conversation with Alexandra Carter. And if you want, you can go and listen to the full episode on the Switch Pivot or Quit podcast. It'll be linked in the show notes, as well as her book, Ask for More, will be linked in the show notes. And I do get a percentage if you decide to purchase the book, but you won't regret it. Trust me, you won't regret it. You'll probably make that money back when you learn how to ask for more. So one of the first things that I walked away from this conversation understanding is that we all have a misconception about what negotiation looks like, in the sense that we think we have to give up something, and that is not the case. Negotiation is not about what you must give up in order to get what you want. I also learned that you can set the stage for your negotiations before the negotiations ever even start. And that is important, because when you are approaching the situation, understanding that there's going to come a time where you're going to need to negotiate in this particular dynamic, you look at things through a different lens. And so I never thought about how you can set up a space where you're going to negotiate before you even get to that, I guess, opportunity to negotiate. And I guess it's because sometimes we look at negotiation as two people sitting in this room. Maybe there's a mediator or a third party, and they're both hashing it out. But what we don't realize is that so many elements of life include negotiation. It's not just the big moment where you're sitting at two sides of the table trying to hash it out and figure out who gets what. No, it's everyday things in life. And so one of the other things that came up that Alexandra mentioned that I thought was very, very pivotal was that you can be an effective negotiator when you ask questions. Asking questions. And she has this one question that did it for me. This one question that did it for me and changed the game in how I approach asking questions, in terms of how I think I can get more information out of someone by this one game-changing question. And the question is not even a question. It's tell me more. But I'll let you go and listen to the episode if you want to hear her break down how that question that's not a question comes into play. So negotiation, she says, is a year-round process, especially when you're thinking of positioning yourself for a big ask like a promotion. You shouldn't wait until you get into your review to have the conversation about your ask or about the promotion. You are priming the situation for that conversation to come up way before you even enter the room. Way before the words even come out of your mouth. I would like a promotion because X, Y, and Z. No, the negotiation tactic is you are laying the foundation and the groundwork for that before you ever even ask the question about you wanting a promotion. It's a year-round process. And I was like, ooh, yeah, that's very key and valuable, because so many of us miss out on the opportunities for a promotion because we've waited until the exact time that we want the promotion. So there's that. And then she also talked about the importance of disarming people with asking questions. Sometimes people have this armor up and they're so ready to tell you what they want, what they need, what they demand in a negotiation situation, that when you ask questions that are genuine and feel like you're really trying to understand the person's perspective and where they're coming from and what their needs are, that disarms someone and brings the shield down a little so that you all can have a relatable dialogue instead of them being on the defense and coming from a position of feeling like you're going to take something away from them. When you're making an effort in asking questions to understand what their needs are and what they want, it feels more like you are in collaboration instead of looking to take from them. I thought that was super valuable when she shared that. And then the question of why. This question of why, asking someone why they did this, why they chose this or that, that is a very off-putting question that immediately raises people's defenses. When Alexandra shared that, I was blown away because you put yourself in that situation. You think about how many times you've been prepared to defend yourself, knowing that someone was going to ask you that question of why. Why did you do this a certain way? Why did you make this decision? And it's like when you look at it through the lens of negotiation and you look at it through the lens of maybe if I reframe the question and say something like, tell me more about this decision, tell me more about this action, that might make the person more willing to share and not feel like you're being accusatory. Instead, it makes them feel like, once again, you're in collaboration. You're making an effort to understand instead of pointing the finger and trying to assign blame. That question of why feels like assigning blame. I was like, oh, that was so good. And then the last thing that stood out to me from our conversation and the things that Alexandra Carter shared from her book, Ask for More, was setting the foundation for those who come behind you. So this is specifically for my women because sometimes we have a hard time asking questions or asking for more for ourselves. But the next time you're in a situation and you're thinking, I'm a little hesitant to ask to ask for more because I don't want someone to think that I'm being greedy or I'm trying to take advantage of. Maybe we can look at it through another perspective. The perspective of I am asking for more or asking for what I want and what I deserve because there will be women who will come behind me and those women deserve what I deserve and more. And if I open the door for asking for what I want or what I deserve, then that just leaves that door open for them to be able to ask for what they want and what they deserve. So it's not all about you when you're asking for more. Sometimes it's laying the groundwork for the next person who will come behind you and they will ask for more and they will feel that they're in a position and they're set up to be able to ask for more because you already did some of the work. So it's like you're doing it for yourself, but you're also doing it for the larger community of your peers who will come behind you. Alexandra Carter, I cannot say enough great things about her and the work that she does. And she presents everything in such a simple way that you just have these aha moments and you get it. And there's actionable things that you can take and use immediately. So I highly recommend you listen to the podcast episode on the Switch, Pivot, or Quit podcast, where I chatted with her about all things asking for more in negotiation. And you'll really see how it shows up in your everyday life. She even gives some real life examples from her own personal life, her and her husband. And then check out the book. Get your hands on a copy of that book so that you can use it like a little Bible, something you can continuously refer to when you are in different situations where you know you need to ask for more. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. As always, be well.